Hey everyone, my name's Marissa and welcome to my channel. The topic of the day is disappointments, handling disappointments. Yeah, that's what I decided to go with. So disappointment is a part of life. Everyone experiences disappointments. It's something that we all go through, and I've had a lot of disappointments this year. So many others have had many disappointments this year. So let's just jump in and I'll share with you how I process and just some of my experiences. My friend Rachel always tells me there are three parts: my part, God's part, and their part. Their being whoever's involved. And I'm in charge of my part. I'm in charge of my reaction, my response. I'm in charge of me. So when disappointment hits me, I have to take a step back and evaluate my part. And I start looking at my expectations. Are my expectations reasonable, fair, and were they communicated? Those are important. When I say reasonable and fair, I mean, were they fair to expect on the situation, on the other person? Were they reasonable? And that doesn't mean that I lower my expectations. No. It means that I evaluate them. I have to see if they are, as they say, reasonable and fair. Because it's not fair if the other person feels that it was unrealistic for them to reach, or, the situation is just like, whoa, that's really out there. I'm a big optimist, and so I definitely have really big expectations and high hopes for things. But if my hopes and my expectations are way far out there and I'm super disappointed, um, you know, if it's Christmas time and I know that my mom doesn't have a lot of money, but I'm expecting $200 of classroom supplies because I'm a teacher and I want classroom supplies, that's not fair. That's not reasonable. She didn't have a lot of money. That's on me. Bad expectations. If I am wanting to develop as a teacher and like get better at my craft, get better at my skills in delivery and creating lessons, but I'm not working on it, well, that's not smart. That's not a good expectation to have on myself. Um, we evaluate, we see, are our expectations fair? Are they reasonable? And then, have they been communicated? Have I communicated what I expect? Have I communicated with the other person and given them a place to voice their concerns, their questions, and even share, Marissa, that's not fair. That's not reasonable. I don't think I can do that. And when I get that communication, that feedback, and a dialogue, then I can then say, all right, I either need to adjust my expectations or I need to find someone else who can do it because these expectations are good. Um, and those are just kind of how I process. Now, sometimes disappointments happen and it has nothing to do with my expectations. It was fair, it was reasonable, but the other party, the other part just didn't come through. Or just life happened outside of my part or their part's control, and life just happened. And I have to take a step back and learn to let things go. As I'm processing my expectations, as I'm processing, my communication, my part, if I've messed up, if I haven't done something the right way, then it's on me to evaluate, self-reflect, and see, all right, how do I need to do different? What do I need to do different? How can I learn from this experience? How can I use this to grow? How can I take this hurt, disappointment, acknowledge it? We need to acknowledge our feelings, but take it and use it to grow, because everything can be used as an opportunity to grow, to do better, not to hold us back. I don't want to be wallowing in disappointment. I don't want to be wallowing in fear. We move forward. That's the plan. Now, it's important to recognize that we can't control everything. I can't control the other entity's part. God is always going to do his part. That's just God. That's what he does. He does his part. He knows his role. He knows what he can do. He's God. He's limitless. And God always does his part. He is faithful. Test him and see that the Lord is good. He is faithful. He comes through. That's just the kind of God he is. I know from experience, God has always come through for me. Not exactly in the ways that I've wanted, not exactly in the ways that I've expected, but he does his thing, and he's faithful and true, and he can be trusted. God does his part. It's done. Don't need to worry about it. Now, the other person's part, we can't control that. Try as we may, we can scream, we can fight, we can fuss, but we cannot control what other people do. You cannot control what someone else does, how they react, how they respond. You can't control that. You're only in charge of you and the things that you can control. Sometimes we just have to let things go. We have to recognize that things aren't always going to go the way we hope and the way that we want. We don't have that kind of control over everything. So we have to let things go, learn from the situation, take the things that we can to learn from the situation, and move forward. Disappointment can be something that can hold us back and keep us in fear. With some of the disappointments that I've experienced, especially this year, I'm afraid in a lot of ways. And I'm working through that fear because I don't want to be held back. I have things to do, I have places to be. There are doors that God is waiting for me to walk through, paths that He has set ahead for me, places that He is waiting for me to get to. But if I let the fear of my disappointments or being held back, the fear of being rejected, the fear of being told no, just fear, because disappointment can evoke a lot of fear or even anger that can grow into bitterness and resentment and keep me back from the things that God has for me. Again, that's my part. Why am I letting those things hold me back? We can't do that. You can't do that. You have been created for a purpose by God, on purpose. He's given you skills, passions, desires, talents, loves, so that you can use those things. And we can't let our disappointments hold us back from all the wonderful things that He has in store for us. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard the things that God has planned for us. That's not the exact verse, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. My friend Nathan has this really cool illustration. I don't know if he remembers it. It's from like years and years ago. But I don't remember the conversation, but I remember us talking about disappointment being hurt. And he shared me this illustration. Pretend this is my heart. I'm offering it up to someone or something, whether it be something that I'm reaching towards, a goal, a friendship, or a deeper relationship, family member, whatever. This is my heart. Here you go. Here's my heart. And that other person takes a pencil and they stab it. Yeah, it's a little gory, but they stab your heart. They've hurt you. You take your heart back really quick. And he said, we give our heart to God and we say, hey, Jesus, my heart's hurting. My heart is broken. It's been wounded deeply. And God's like, let me take it. He takes it and He heals it and He holds it and He's comforting it and He's healing you. And now you've got your heart again. And someone else might come, another dream or desire or, relationship, friend or family member might want to come into your life. And they're like, hey, can I hold your heart? Hey, come over here, let your heart go again, let it out. And you're like, no, I don't want anyone to hurt my heart. I don't want anyone to stab it again. I got to keep it here. The wound may be healed, but you're afraid to try again. Try again in this new endeavor, this business. Try again in going back to school. Try again in this relationship. Reaching out again in this friendship. Trying to heal this, this relationship over here again. You don't want to let your heart get hurt again. But God says, hey, I healed that. I healed that so that you can try again. So that you don't have to be held back. And I can heal it again. Now, God doesn't cause our hurts. He doesn't want the hurts. But He's able to use those things. The verse that I'm working on right now, 2 Corinthians 1, 3, and 5. Praise be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion, the God of comfort, who comforts us in all of our troubles so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we receive from Christ. I think that's just 3 and 4 actually. Still working on 5. But God gives us comfort. He heals our hurts. He heals our wounds so that we can go out and comfort and heal and help others so that we don't have to stay here with a hidden heart. No, He's created you for so much more than to hide behind your fears, hide behind your hurts, because He can heal those things, make you stronger. Allow Him to let you be stronger. Allow Him to make you stronger, to help you walk into newness, help you walk down a better path and come out like gold. Come out like gold. Hold your heart out again. It's okay. It's scary and it hurts and you're worried. You might even still have like little scars there. But He's healer. He's got you. He's got you. And there's no disappointment, no hurt, no fear, no worry that you can encounter that God can't handle. Because he's cool like that. Like I'm telling you, he's cool like that. Let me tell you, believe me, my God is cool like that. He loves you so deeply. He loves me so deeply. And so as I'm processing my disappointments, as I'm working through the fears, I don't want to be here. I want to be here for my goals, for my desires, for new opportunities. I want to be here. Because when I give my heart and soul into something, I know that it can be so beautiful. I know that it can be so powerful. I know that putting passion into something, a relationship, a friendship, a goal, a desire, a business, whatever it is, putting your passion into it, going all in, there's so much life, so much growth that comes from that. Don't be here. Work through our disappointments, work through your fear, work through your hurt, so you can be here and God can be like, whoosh, with all the blessings, let him flow. Because he'll take care of you. He'll walk you through. He's good. Trust me, he is so good. Firsthand, some of the disappointments that I've encountered, though I've laid it out like a 3-step thing, the healing doesn't come that quickly. The healing isn't a 5-minute process for some things. With the bigger disappointments I've had this year, healing has come over the course of months. And disappointments I've had over the past, healing has come over the course of years. So I get rejection. I get being broken, feeling broken. I get feeling lonely. I know those things. I know those feelings. I know feeling like you did everything in your power to make something work, and then it doesn't work, and then being crushed. I get that. But I also know the joy, the peace that my God brings. I know the healing that my God brings. I know the patient love he takes to wrap me close, to hold my heart. I know the intentionality he has in making sure that I can be healed and putting me on a path towards moving forward. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to beg, to cry, to say, Jesus, just hold me close because I can't do this. And then I know what it is to feel him close, to know he's there, to know that he sees me, and that he's rooting for me. He fights for us. There's a verse that says that he fights for us in Exodus 14:14. He fights for us. Check it out. It's good. And while I may not know your situation, while I may not know your disappointment, big or small, one of my favorite quotes, there's nothing too small for God's love or too big for his power. That's backwards. There's nothing that's too big for God's power or too small for his love. Whatever disappointment you're going through, he's got this. Trust him. Process through. He'll help you. Thanks for sticking around and listening to just little bits of me share how I process. Let me know if you have any questions, any thoughts, any comments, and if there's any more encouragement I can give to you. I love speaking truth over people. I love speaking God's truth over people because for me especially, God's truth has been the only thing getting me through, just knowing what he says is true as a sure promise, solid as a rock. And I want to be able to share those truths with you, share whatever I can from my life too, as God gives me comfort. Share some comfort back. Looking forward to hearing back from you guys, and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in more of this kind of content and you want to know when the next video is up. Have a great day.